Hey, this is Dan, back for another Mastering Collectify, and today we're going to talk about ERC1155. ERC1155 is commonly known as the multi-token standard. It stands apart from ERC721s and ERC20s, and it kind of sits in between, right? So ERC20s, which we covered last week, the coins, they're fully fungible tokens. They're all identical, and they can be swapped out one for one with each other. 721s, non-fungible tokens, the most common idea about an NFT, is completely unique and it can't be swapped on a one-to-one basis. So what does 1155 do? It makes it more efficient to handle multiple individual NFTs, individual tokens. That might sound a bit confusing, and I'm going to jump in and give you an example while I'm making one today for you. So 1155 is really quite useful for creating additional assets that supplement other NFTs, right? The example I'm going to use is a kind of game methodology. So I'm going to just show you now. As ever, we're going to just start with metadata. Now this collection, we're going to be creating items, okay? They're going to be the resources. So we're just going to call them resources. And the unrevealed image is actually going to be just the marketplace, okay? And we're going to go through. Okay, so for 1155, the metadata is a little bit different and we don't really need to do anything here for now. You can get into details with this later if you want to. Right now, we're actually just going to set it to revealed immediately. Okay, this just means that everything will show what it is straight away. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to copy the metadata URL. We're going to hold on to that for later. With that in mind, we're going to hop over to ERC1155. All right, let's get to it. So these resources are going to be several different NFTs on the same contract. That's what we're doing here. So we're just giving it a name, giving it a symbol, and the metadata URL from before. Just paste that over. Don't need any royalties on these. And the collection logo is once again going to be this marketplace image I whipped up. Just gonna jump over all of those things and we're gonna make the contract. Easy, right? Deployed. I'm gonna copy that for later and we're gonna go to the dashboard. All right, so here we are, same as ever. Firstly, I'm gonna just sort out the theme. Okay, done. Here's all the contract information. Of course, you can update this as per usual. If we go through to the Launchpad page, you can mint whatever is on here. And of course, for now, there's nothing. We're going to go to NFTs. And this is where we make our NFTs. Now, we've got a contract and we're putting the extra tokens onto the contract. And this is why understanding it is essentially like a hybrid of the NFT and the fungible token, the ERC20, makes sense. Okay, this is going to be the first one. We're going to do wood, right? And we're going to use a little wood image that I've created. Max supply. Let's just say that there is a lot of wood. I'm going to use the same number for everything. So I'm just going to put it on my clipboard. Each person can mint, let's say 10 at a time. And then the price, if you remember last week, we made a coin. This is what you're going to pay to buy wood. All right, and you only need 2, let's say. Public mint, and it's open forever. We'll just approve this, and we'll deploy this NFT. Okay, it's now live, and here we go. We've got wood, and if we go through, you'll see wood is now live. And so I'm going to now quickly just populate a few more, and we'll skip to that part in the end and do a bit of a, here's one I made earlier. Okay, we're back. And now you can see I've populated a number of items and we have a full set of resources all sitting on the same contract. And now, you know, if you wanted to, you can go and mint it. And this is where, so each one has its own whitelist. And this is where you can start to get very creative with how you distribute these additional NFTs, these additional tokens. These additional pieces of a game if you're building a game or whatever, right? Consider how you can build whitelists through different things so you can reward people with these additional tokens. Other than the example I gave last week of rewarding people with coins. Here you can reward with other assets. So let's just use as an example these resources and the lands. If you remember, we created the original NFTs for this as a series of lands with trait. Now I can say, okay, mines make ore, forests make wood, sea makes fish. What we could do with that is we drop back to station and staking. And what we can do is we can encourage our collectors, our holders, and our participants to stake their lands. And then when it comes to the level up period, which is by default set to 30 days, but you can change that, and you can even use your own manual number identification, because the outcome spreadsheet, which I'm going to show you now, will give you the ID of the NFT, the address associated with it, the Twitter account associated with it, and the number of staked days and the level, a level being 30 days. What is creative here is that you can add this spreadsheet and this data set that you pull from this to your metadata. And then what you can do is you can essentially use a little bit of spreadsheet creativity to identify the NFT ID and the relevant trait that you're looking for. So I want to work out who I want to reward with being able to mint wood. So I'm going to identify the IDs that have forest. Okay. And then I'm going to go, okay, which ID has forest and is staked for 30 days to get level, or if I wanted to do it on a smaller time frame. I realize this is manual and it might seem time consuming, but then this is just the start. Think about how you can automate it. You can do some Python scripting, whatever. Okay, and that's just one example. Again, all of our assets that we're going to start giving all our followers, they're going to have all this stuff lying around that they can generate, and maybe we want to give them a reason to use it. Of course, they can trade amongst themselves if they need to accumulate other resources. But one other thing that we can do here is we can look at how, for example, you can accumulate a certain number and then qualify. You stake your land, you make 100 stone, and then qualify for an additional thing. Like, for example, you want to build a house on your plot, so you need 100 stone, 20 wood, like predefined values. These things can be checked in the wallet, and then of course whitelist permission can be granted to mint a house. You see, we're adding layers of complication that give people incentives to, for example, acquire other lands. Oh, okay, I've got a place to make stone and wood. Maybe it's easier for me to trade for other things, but then maybe I already have stone, wood, fish, and I think, why don't I just buy the thing to produce the hay and produce the ore, and then I can make everything myself, right? You start to make little decision-making elements for different people to think about and explore, okay? And then this, of course, comes into a wider economy using the token to purchase and sell things. For now, the marketplace actually just creates markets for 721 tokens. But another way to organize resources, if you're thinking of doing something like this, is to make each of these resources an ERC20, and then you can use stone to buy things, okay? And then the 1155s, these additional tokens could be the next thing up that you need to collect. So there's so many different ways to think about this and to put these like little projects all together. The best thing to do is just to play. Of course, BNB chain is requiring me to spend small amounts of money every time I want to do something. You can use Collectify on the Gorally testnet. That's quite a cool thing you can do. You can get free testnet ETH on a faucet, and you can just get to tinkering and playing. I recommend you do that. I've been learning so much through just showing you what I'm up to. Okay, with that said, I think we're going to leave it there for today, and I'll be back next time to talk a little bit about Open Edition. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.